What's up, NBA fanatics? Back at it with another video. Michael Carrozza, NBA Our Way 2022 NBA playoff predictions. I'm going to give you all my NBA playoff predictions 1 through 8 in the East, 1 through 8 in the West, and my NBA Finals prediction with the NBA Finals MVP. First, we'll go through the East, and the first round is 1 is the Miami Heat, and the 8 seed is the Atlanta Hawks. So in that series, I'm taking the Miami Heat in 5 games. Reason why, first off, 1 through 5, I mean, you got Kyle Lowry, you have Duncan Robinson, you have Jimmy Butler, you have PJ Tucker now, and then Bam Adebayo, 6th man of the year candidate, who I think definitely is going to run with it, who I picked beginning of the season, Tyler Hero. And then you just got Victor Oladipo, Morris, Gabe Vincent, Max Strus. You got so many guys that can come off the bench and help as well. They're very deep, top 5 in defense, top 5 in offense. They're just a really good team. Thing is, John Collins still out with the Hawks. Now with the Hawks, all their players contribute. That's the thing that worries me a little bit. And they did great in the playing games. Obviously blew out the Hornets and then beat the Cavs. And the Cavs were a very good team this year. They were not expected to be as good as they were, but like most improved player, one of the candidates, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Rookie of the Year, Jared Allen, to go out and beat them on their court was huge. And then also blow out the Hornets was another huge victory. So they're back in the playoffs now, but I don't see them winning more than 1 game, but having Trae Young will at least win them 1 game. So I'm taking the Heat in 5. And next series would be the 4-5, and that is the 76ers versus the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors are the 5, and the 76ers are the 4. The thing is with that series, Joel Embiid, like I said, Jokic is my MVP, but Joel Embiid is just more of a highlight. You know, they say Jokic. I don't think Jokic is boring, but he seems to come off boring. You know, Joel Embiid has more, dunks and threes and all like cool highlights. But Jokic is my MVP. But Embiid did win the scoring title, averaging 30 points, 31 damn near points a game. So and also with basically with the Toronto Raptors, one is that they don't have the bigs to cover Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid is going to unleash. He's going to dominate. He's going to absolutely dominate. Birch and Boucher, if you try to throw Siakam at him, none of them guys can cover Joel Embiid at the end of the day. It sucks, though, for the Sixers. Matisse Thybulle, COVID, is not vaccinated, I believe. So he will miss games 3 and 4 in Toronto because of the rules in Canada. And also, Toronto is not a good 3-point shooter. So they're gonna have to rely on their, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., those guys, and so I don't see too many Siakam. It's just Scotty Barnes. I don't really see that really happening where maybe they get a game or 2 at the most, a game. But also I'm worried about James Harden. He really has not been a guy that's stepped up in the playoffs. Has never stepped up in big games. I know that's where he wants to be in Philadelphia with Joel Embiid, but there's no answer for Joel Embiid against Toronto. And like I said, even if the Raptors try to hit threes, they're like right around 30% after the All-Star break. So I don't see that happening. So I'm taking the 76ers in 5. Next series, the Bucks are the 3, and the 6 is the Bulls. The Bulls, to me, are overrated. A lot of people are high on the Bulls. They beat a lot of good they beat a lot of bad teams, and then when it came to teams like the playoff teams and a lot of the winning teams, they didn't win. And you can blame it on injuries or whatever you want to blame it on, but really, Zach LaVine's questionable, but he'll probably play. And then Lonzo Ball, that's the big thing. He is out. But they still have Caruso, and certain players that are, and DeRozan, having the season that he's having, probably the best season ever. I feel bad for him. I feel bad for the Bulls for having to play the Bucks in the first round, but I think the Bucks played it smart by losing that last game, so they didn't have to play the Nets in the first round. I think they'd rather play the Bulls, and so in that series, I could see the Bucks winning in 5. Just because of DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Vucevic, and them guys, and Caruso, Patrick Williams, and Green, all them guys. I just don't see. I don't see anybody being able to cover Giannis. Drew Holiday, a lockdown defender. Yeah, they don't have PJ Tucker anymore, but they got a 3-point shooter in Grayson Allen, Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez. I can go on and on name players for the Bucks. So I'm gonna say Bucks in 5. Next series is, yes, the Celtics have been the number one defense and number one offense after the All-Star break. They've went from like the 7th all the way down to the 2. The good thing is that they've been hot. Bad thing is that they are now playing the Nets in the first round, and that is not good for the Celtics. I'll tell you that right now. I'm heavy on the Nets. My prediction before the season was Lakers-Nets. Obviously, the Lakers had the most disappointing season ever, and that's my opinion in the NBA history. Firing now Vogel, Russell Westbrook, all that. But that's for another video. And when I go over the Lakers offseason and what they should do. So with that series, also Robert Williams is out. That's huge. Robert Williams is a great defender. That means that puts Daniel Theis at the starting 5. I really do like starting 5 with Robert Williams, Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, and Horford. You know what I mean? I like that 5, and then Derek White. But without Robert Williams, I don't see them, winning against the Nets, and that is going to be difficult, especially with Ben Simmons supposedly coming back game 4 or 5. I broke that news. One of the first NBA YouTubers to break that news. ESPN came out obviously first, but Joe Harris will be out for the remainder of the season. But Ben Simmons coming back is huge. I'm telling you that. I know that you're not going to get the Ben Simmons that's 100%, but at least you got a guy out there that was last year's my defensive player of the year, an all-star. Yes, he didn't play all season, and you throw him out in the kitchen, basically just throw him out there, boom, put him out on the floor. But that helps at the end of the day. It really does. So I'm taking the Brooklyn Nets in 6 to beat the Boston Celtics. And that's sad because, man, I really like this Celtics. Like I said, with Robert Williams, I think they have the best starting 5 in the league, but he's out. And it was really tempted for me. If, like I said, Robert Williams was playing, I would say the Celtics in 7, but he's not. Injuries do impact. Look at last year, Anthony Davis, Lakers up 2-0 against the Suns. He gets hurt. Suns, and the rest is history. So that's that. And then next round, so Nets move on 6. Then it would be Heat versus Sixers. So the thing with the Heat now, like I said, they are very deep. They have a lot of depth, and the Sixers have to rely on James Harden, Maxey, who's having a great season, and Joel Embiid, who is a MVP candidate, right there next to Jokic, and the scoring title I went over. But Bam Adebayo can play defense, and so can PJ Tucker, so can Jimmy Butler, and that's what they built this team around, defense. Kyle Lowry. So I think that the Heat are just too much overall for the 76ers, and I don't trust James Harden. So I'm taking the Heat in 5. Yes, I am. Okay, next series would be Bucks Nets, rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Finals. And if you remember last year, Kevin Durant hit that last shot. His foot was on the line. Literally, the Bucks won by an inch. Literally, if that was a 3, the Bucks were out, and the Nets were in the NBA Finals. And who knows what would happen. But at the end of the day, it was a 2, and the Bucks won fair and square in overtime. So I think this year it's different. Ben Simmons, no for the Nets. No PJ Tucker for the Bucks. There's no who covers basically Kevin Durant. You could put some bodies on Giannis, like now Ben Simmons. And 1 through 5, if you go through the 5, you have basically 5 will be Brook Lopez versus Andre Drummond. I'm going to give the upper edge to Brook Lopez. But Drummond can hold his own, and he is playing his role perfect. He's out there not to, be the guy in Detroit or anything like that, or how he was on the Lakers, fumbling the ball around, trying to score, make moves. He doesn't need to do that. Just like with Simmons, his role is to go out there and get rebounds, get loose balls, offensive boards, putbacks, protect the rim, and that's what he's been doing. And then the 4, it will be Durant or and Giannis. That's the most dominant player in the league, I would say. Giannis is. And Antetokounmpo, and then the most overall best player on the planet, Kevin Durant, to me, in my opinion. So really, who are you going to put on Kevin Durant? Giannis at times, yes, but last year the answer was PJ Tucker, and they don't have him this year. And that's going to be an issue. You had last year, the reason why the Bucks won the finals was because of defense, and they lose one of their big players on defense. Yes, they have Drew Holiday, who's a great defender, but Grayson Allen is not. Middleton's underrated two-way player, and then Giannis, and then Brook Lopez. So they still got guys off the bench too as well. But with Ben Simmons, like I said, another reason why I'm taking the Nets in 6. I am. I think that Kevin Durant will just have a breakout series, and I think that the Nets can surpass the Bucks, and that sucks for the Bucks to face them that early. And for the Nets to be a 7, they are a scary 7. They might be the best 7 seed ever, in my opinion. And then that would make the Eastern Conference Finals the Heat, number 1 versus number 7 Nets. And I talked about PJ Tucker in earlier videos, but the thing is with the Heat, they don't have a Giannis. They don't have a Joel Embiid. They don't have a Durant. They don't have a Jokic. They don't have those guys. They don't have a Trae Young even. They have a Kyle Lowry, a Jimmy Butler, the guys I named. But I give the first matchup at center, Bam Adebayo the upper hand. That's a definite over Andre Drummond. I think Bam Adebayo will dominate that matchup. Now, Durant versus PJ Tucker. Again, PJ Tucker, lockdown defender, always will put a hand in. He plays him tough. He plays Durant tough. And then you have Simmons, Brown, Curry, or Simmons, whoever starts. I think by then maybe Simmons will start. And then and then you have Kyrie Irving. And then 6 man, you got Patty Mills, Goran Dragic. You got the young guns, Kessler Edwards. I think he's been playing great as a wing. I think the Nets did amazing in the draft, getting Cam Thomas from LSU, Kessler Edwards, and Deshaun Sharp from UNC, the big man. He's not playing big minutes or nothing, but in the future he could be a big that can help the Nets down the line. And the huge thing about the Nets, Joe Harris is out for the season, so you don't have that 40% three-point shooter. But still, in a 7-game series with Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and hopefully by then a more healthier Ben Simmons against the Miami Heat, I just think that overall with Kevin Durant and Kyrie, I think that they can beat the Miami Heat in a 7-game series, and so I'm going to take the Nets in 6. Now let's go over to the West. First round, 1-8 matchup, Suns-Pelicans. I think the Pelicans got lucky to get in. Paul George, COVID protocol, missed the playing game, and that got the Pelicans in the playoffs. But you have Zion out there doing 360 dunks, and but he's out. So that's huge. So that means their big three, Jonas Valanciunas, Brandon Ingram, and CJ McCollum, are going to have to put up huge numbers against the Suns. And easily the Suns have, Booker, Chris Paul, the the point guard, the one-man rebuild, Jay Crowder, vet, Ayton, Bridges, a defensive player candidate. Very depth. The team has a lot of depth as well. Off the bench, Cam Johnson, just things like that. Backup point guard campaign, backup center veteran, won championships, JaVale McGee, Torrey Craig for defense, Champ. Just players that can come off the bench and contribute. So I'm gonna go Suns in a sweep. Next would be the Mavs and Jazz, the 4-5. It sucks, man, because Luka could be one day one of the best or the best NBA player in the league. Him being out and his injury, I know they said he's only going to be out for game 1, and I did pick the Jazz to win game 1. If Luka was not injured, I would take the Mavs in 6, but he is injured, and I don't know how bad it is, but with his injury, I mean, it could be where a situation where you bring him out there, and guess what? And he gets hurt more, So yeah, he misses game 1. Jazz win probably, but then I can just see Spider Mitchell, like my boy from AM Hoop says, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, and them guys playing Dallas heavy, hard. Tim Hardaway Jr. is out for that series. I don't think anybody major is out at all for the Jazz. Jordan Clarkson off the bench. Bogdanovich, Royce O'Neal, Mike Conley, all them guys. So I'm gonna say the Jazz in 7. Next series, the Golden State Warriors versus the Denver Nuggets. Jokic is going to have a field day. He is the best center in the league. Let me say that again. Nikola Jokic is the best center in the NBA. Okay? And he should be back-to-back MVP, like I said as well earlier. Now, the Golden State, James Wiseman's out, but the thing is, with Denver, Steph Curry's just coming back for an injury. And the thing is that that's my early predictions for the most valuable player was Steph Curry. Now it's Jokic. If Steph didn't get hurt, he could have been most valuable player, but he got hurt. Klay Thompson's coming back from injury. Draymond Green had injuries this season, but Andrew Wiggins was the first-time All-Star and a starter. First-time All-Star, and then he was a starter, like I said. But the thing is, Jokic can't do it all by himself. Can he win a game by himself? Yeah, absolutely, of course. But I think it's just too much to ask for Jokic without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. Neither one of his best 2 players beside him are out there to help him. And it sucks because that's how it's been the last 2 seasons. Nuggets, great team. Jokic, the most valuable player to make his team always make the playoffs and in the playoffs and to do something. And it's because of him. Aaron Gordon is the second best player, and he's, not even a number 2 really. And then you have guys like, Capazio, Rivers, but Monte Morris will be starting. Will Barton, Jeff Green's getting older now. I like the Golden State Warriors I'm going to say it's Golden State Warriors in 5. Just because, like I said, Jokic can get a game himself. Then the next series is my upset alert. Number 2, the Memphis Grizzlies versus number 7, Karl-Anthony Towns and the Minnesota Timberwolves. No injuries, major. It's just one. This is the first year Memphis and Ja Morant. This first year. This is why I say Ja Morant's the most not valuable player. He will be one day, but the most improved player. He got his team to the number 2 seed. Okay, and I know he was out a lot, and other players stepped up. Another reason. Last year he was not an all-star. This year he was an all-star starter, and he could be the face of the league one day. But the Timberwolves have Pat Bev defense. They have Karl-Anthony Towns, who can hit threes, who can do it all. His defense, but also on the other side, his defense lacks, but that steps up with Pat Bev, McDaniels, Vanderbilt, players like that, Pat Bev. And I know D'Lo's not a good defensive player either, but I can see an upset right here. Really, I really do. I can see an upset. I picked the Timberwolves to win Game 1 against the Memphis Grizzlies. So I'm taking the Timberwolves, and I'm gonna say I'll say the Timberwolves in 7. How about that? We'll do that. That is my upset though. Starting 5 will be Karl-Anthony Towns. Then you have Pat Bev, D'Lo, Anthony Edwards, and Vanderbilt. Yeah. So around there, or either McDaniels, one of the guys, and then for you got Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bane, Ja Morant, Steven Adams, Jaren Jackson Jr. But I just and I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. really can cover Cat. I don't. I heard a lot of things about these guys can cover this guy, Ant Edwards, but at the end of the day, no. I'm taking the Timberwolves in the first round upset. Okay, then it comes down to the Suns and Jazz. I'm taking the Suns. I don't see anyone beating them in a 7-game series in the West. So I'm taking the Suns against the Jazz in, I'll say, 5 games. And then Golden State versus Minnesota. If Steph, Clay, and Draymond are a lot more healthier with a lot of the other players, Jordan Poole. It's just the one position they're weak at is Looney. And that's the thing. But I think that Draymond Green can cover Cat. So I'm taking the more improved team. And with those 3 guys, the big 3 in Golden State, I don't see Minnesota beating Golden State. So I'm taking Golden State in 6. We'll say 6 games. It could be 5, but I'll say 6 to be safe. Then the Western Conference Finals, the Golden State Warriors versus the Phoenix Suns. Like I said earlier, I don't have anybody beating the Suns in a 7-game series. So I'm going to say the Suns beat the Golden State Warriors in 6. And the Suns get back to the NBA Finals back-to-back seasons. They've gotten better ever since the bubble, winning almost, I think they won every game in the bubble. And then getting Chris Paul, getting to the championship last year, being up 2-0, blowing it. And like I said, defense wins championships, offense fills seats. So then I have an NBA Finals of the Brooklyn Nets, the 7 seed, versus the number 1 Phoenix Suns. And I'm going with, in a 7-game series, I said that no one in the West could beat them. I didn't say East. But I think it's going to be an amazing series. I think Suns and the Brooklyn Nets is going to be an amazing series. I really do. Booker, you got the names. Booker, Chris Paul, Bridges, Simmons, Kyrie, Durant. You got all the names you need. But at the end of the day, like I say, I'm taking the Nets. I'm taking the Nets in 7. The Nets to win the finals. And if Ben Simmons is a huge reason. If Ben Simmons was out, I would say the Suns in 7. But with Simmons in, I think he can step up by that finals. I am taking the, like I said, the Brooklyn Nets to win it all in 7 against the Suns. And my most valuable player in the NBA Finals 2022, Kevin Durant. Who else? So that's it. That's my 2022 NBA playoff predictions. I hope you like what you guys heard. Each night or each day I'll be putting out the day before the games of who've played and who's going to win, injury report, and why. So that's that. That's what I got for you guys. I hope you enjoy the video. Put down in the comments what you guys want to hear and what you like and what you dislike, and so the channel can improve. And like I said, there is more software on the way. The videos will be getting better. Like I said, if you see a couple more of my other videos, there is some editing. Like I said, the certain software hasn't came in yet, but that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I don't want to bore you with anything on like that. But like I said, I hope you liked the video. Mike Carrozza, I'm out. NBA our way. Follow the channel, subscribe, like. NBA Fanatics, have a beautiful night, and I'll see y'all later. Peace. NBA our way.